What's up, guys? It's Mike from Job Ready English, here to help international students and professionals get jobs in the UK. We've had a lot of questions come into our inbox, and I think there are a lot of students who have just general questions about applications and finding sponsors. So we're rolling out a different style of video called What's in My Inbox. I'd say every week I get anywhere between 50 and 100 messages through email and through LinkedIn. We're a pretty small team, so I can't really respond to every single email. But what I wanted to do is take the time to go through like 9 different questions and emails that have come up this week. And also make sure you check out a link in the description below where we've got our free application guide and 5-step system to use Indeed to find jobs that will sponsor. And I'm going to take you through that at the end of the video in answer to this question, which is about how to target certain companies to apply for what roles and what I should target. So stick around until the end of the video for that. So let's go through the questions. The first 2 questions are about application forms. So number 1, do you currently have the right to work in the UK? Generally, the answer is no. I know that there is one exception to this, and it will be explicitly stated. We went through it with a client recently, which was for BDO, who said if you have a study visa, then you can tick that you have the right to work in the UK. So just to explain, so you understand what this means, the common mistake is that people say, well, yeah, right now I can work. I'm on a study visa. So during term time, that's 20 hours a week, and during university holidays, that's full time. But what the company actually means by this question is, do you have the right to work in the UK for the full duration of your contract? Which, if you're doing a graduate training contract, will generally be 3 years. Sometimes they're 2 years, depending upon if you're studying for a qualification, what the nature of that is, but it tends to be 3 years. So generally the answer to this question is no, unless the company explicitly states that differently. Next question is, my qualification isn't listed for GCSEs or A-levels, what should I do? This is super common because, of course, UK companies are angled towards UK students and UK qualifications for GCSEs and A-levels. So in most forms, it's pretty simple. You would just click and go to the button that says Other or NA not applicable. And then I always recommend that you should have a Word document or a Google Doc somewhere, which basically states all of your, like, what is the name of your qualification? What are the subjects that you took? What are the grades that you got? Now, of course, we're talking about a lot of different countries that you could come from if you're watching this video. I tend to say that a percentage is just easier to explain. So you might have 100% scores of 5.0 GPA, a 4.0 GPA. You might have a grading system out of 7, 8, or 9. There are so many different grading systems, but I think a percentage is just very clear. So you say, well, I got this GPA and that's this much percent, and this and this and this. There doesn't tend to be many problems with qualifications from other countries. It's just so that you can explain it in a way that is easily understandable to your audience. The next question was one that's come over as about company sponsorship. Good evening, Trust Fine. I wanted to find out if you can help me with the comprehensive list of companies that have actually give tier 2 sponsorship visa. Thanks. Now, even though this email wasn't very well written, and this is something that I'm going to cover when I'm talking about, I'm going to go through a couple of cold emails that were sent to me looking for work or looking for opportunities, and just point out some things to think about. I think what this person is actually saying is like, look, they may be on the sponsorship list. And of course, if you haven't already checked it out, make sure that you check out www.sponsortier2.com, where you can easily sift and sort for any company. You can search by town and city, by industry, and also when they're added at, which makes your life a hell of a lot easier than it has been trying to use the government tier 2 and tier 5 sponsorship list. So make sure you check that out. And on that note, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop us a like for this video if you like it, and a comment down below for other videos that you'd like us to make if you're an international student or professional. Now, the truth is with this, say you've looked up a company like ABC company, you find out that they sponsor, and then you apply for the job. There is a very real possibility that, one, you go through the application form, and somewhere in that application form they say do you have the right to work in the UK, which is generally a red flag, but still make sure that you answer honestly. And also, you might submit, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, but do you need a work visa?" Now, the simple answer to this question: is there a list of companies like that have given out sponsorship visas this year? No, it doesn't exist. And the reason is that this is quite complicated. And the easiest way to explain it is that every company has a limited amount of work visas that they can give. And that depends upon the supply and demand for staff within that business. Now, this is generally renewed on April the 1st. Now, it could be that a company finds themselves in March and goes, wow, we've got loads of visas left. Great. We can hire some international students or professionals. However, they may have run out of visas just because they didn't apply for enough visas, and these are called certificates of sponsorship, or they just had a high demand and they had to fill particular roles. So the short answer is no, which can be quite frustrating, but as long as initially you check that the company sponsors, and you can do that if you check out the link in the description below and download a free application plan. That's part of the download. You'll see here in our application plan, this is something that you should do before you start applying for jobs. So you'd write out the company, what the job title is, whether they sponsor, the job link, and so on and so forth. So you make sure that you do your due diligence beforehand. This might seem quite time consuming, but I would encourage you to do this because it's going to save you a lot of frustration. Don't mistake movement for achievement, where people will just constantly one-click apply on LinkedIn and Indeed. But this is completely pointless because if they don't sponsor, then it's a non-starter anyway. But there's no way to ensure that they will sponsor even if they're on the list. So next up, I want to go through a couple of emails. There are 8 of them here. Just to point out a few things, just to be really mindful. So good morning, hope you're doing well. My name is, and I'm from. I'm always interested to work in the UK, but I've never got the chance to get a sponsor. I'd like to know if you could assist me to get a sponsor in the UK, or even help me to move in there. Currently, I'm working somewhere as a mass transit driver with a company called X under the government of X. I'm waiting for you to reply. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me get rid of that. I'm waiting for you to reply. Thank you for your time and consideration. Yours sincerely. Now, I'm not saying that sending cold emails for work from another country is a complete waste of time, but I would say 99 times out of 100 it is. There's something really important to understand. Number one, to get a job in the UK, you need to be in the UK. There isn't really a compromise for that. Now, I've seen quite a lot of videos that have surfaced on YouTube about, oh, you could get this job from this country and come and work in the UK. Yes, that may well be possible, but you'd need to speak to a recruitment agency based in your country. So there may, for example, be feeder agencies for home care is a very good example, care workers, care assistants, but you need to contact those companies directly. A care home is not going to be able to give someone a job to somebody who's in a different country for the simple reason that A, they're going to want to have an interview with you, and B, it's too much friction, it's too much difficulty. So you want to either approach a recruitment agency that's in your home country, that's respectable, that you actually believe is going to be able to help you. And also, I would say it's probably not going to charge you a fee. If they say they're going to charge you a fee, then I'd say, well, why are you charging me a fee? Surely the fee should come from the employer, not from me. And also emails like this, like here's a few examples. Can a caregiver get sponsorship in the UK? Well, the answer is yes, depends on the company. I'm from Pakistan. My name is XXX. I want to come to the UK for work. I'm interested in these types of labour. I'm experienced in this field. Can you tell me how can I be eligible for this position? I'll send links for companies who hire foreign labour. I'm waiting for your response. Now, what you'll notice from all of these emails, this is all work for me. So why is an employer going to respond if I needed somebody? Now, it could be in a very unlikely situation. I do need somebody right there and then. But the chances are incredibly slim that I'm going to employ somebody I don't know from a different country. At the very least, you'd want some contact details. You'd say, look, this is where I worked before. This is what I can do for you. Always approach emails. If you're going to write them, approach them and say, this is exactly what I can do for you. So it would be something like this. So we've got another email here. Dear sir, I've been looking for a sponsorship job. I need this to work and settle. Please have a look and let me know. I mean, why would I do that? Not to be harsh, but if I sent you an email and you're in India or in Pakistan or in the United States, you're not going to take the time out of your busy day to comb through my CV to figure out where you can fit. So if you want to say, hi, I have seen X opportunity, I can do the skills you have asked for, list skills. I have the experience of list experience. I can be contacted on list contact details. Now you'll notice that my email is really specific. What does this mean? It's time consuming. So instead of sitting there and going, right, I'm just going to email 20 random employers today and hope someone gets back to me. Now, the chances are your experience is going to be that no one replies to you. And this is going to become really frustrating. It would be much better for you to send 2 a day, but make sure you're targeting a particular job, a particular opportunity, and that you're being really specific about what it is that you want to do, what skills that you have and what experience that you have, because you want to make your employer's life easier, not more difficult. If I'm sitting there looking for somebody to work in my warehouse, I'm desperate for staff, and you say, look, I've got the skills, I've got the experience, I'm ready to come over, and even more, you can say, you can contact this agency to help me get a work visa to come and work in the UK. The point is, when you're writing to an employer and you want something from them, that you want to solve a problem for them. If you're not solving a problem for them, then it doesn't really make it very attractive for me to reply to you or even to read your email. I guarantee you, one thing that we've always had working with our premium clients, and if you want to find out, if you're an international student or professional and you want to find out how you can get a job in the UK for 30,000 plus a year with a work visa, then make sure you check out that link in the description below. There's a really interesting letter that you can read to find out more about it. But what you always want to think about is, I'm here to solve a problem for an employer. I'm not here to get a job. To be initially given an opportunity, I have to be valuable and useful to that person, that organization. If you're just sending random emails and saying, can I have a job? Then nobody's going to reply to you. Because for a start, what job do you want? What job are you applying to? Have you even checked if I have any vacancies? And most companies, like I said, we get 50 to 100 cold emails and messages a week. So imagine what a big company's like. Imagine what they're going to be experiencing as well. Really take the time to understand them and concentrate on quality rather than quantity. That's what we do with our unlimited coaching clients. So finally, I wanted to deal with this message because I think it's really cool. Hi, Michael. Apologies for the delay. So this was an email just saying, what would be useful for you, what would be helpful. So it's how to target certain companies to apply for and what roles should I target. Based on a list of tier 2 sponsors that are in the list, I know sometimes they won't sponsor for certain roles. Not too sure if that's helpful or not. Many thanks. So this is my advice to you. First of all, make sure that you have an application plan. So if you want to download this template, then just click the link in the description below and you'll find you'll get an email that comes over with this template and also this super helpful guide, which is an application plan guide. Really importantly, what you want to make sure that you're doing, sorry, I don't think this is coming up on the screen share, but in the application plan guide, we basically lay out that you can download our tier 2 sponsor list, which has the 83 biggest tier 2 sponsors. And you really want to be writing out a list of like 40 to 50 employers that you want to work for. So there's no point in writing a list of like one company that you want to apply for, 2 companies. You want to write a big list of employers. So every time that you are thinking about applying for a job, you can just return to one list. And the important thing to recognize is when you're trying to surmount a difficult task, trackers win. So one thing that we're really quite hot on is making sure to track exactly what it is that people are doing and be able to go back, because you may apply for a company 3 weeks ago and have had a conversation and then forgotten about it. If you apply for a company and then you keep a record of it, then you can follow up the email after a week. Like, these things are all really helpful, and they come back to a basic principle of tracking what you are doing. That's really important, because then you can find a company, find a job title, you can get the job link. I would suggest that you want to find the vacancies page direct. So say, for example, you wanted to apply for a data company that's based in London, and you want to filter it based upon IT and telecommunications. Let's see if I can find this. Cool. So we're down to like 11 companies, which is pretty sweet. I'd always say go for newest first. So using sponsortier2.com, so Datatronics, it's not that new, but it's not that old. So you click on Google to go to Google search. Here's Datatronics services. We go and look on their website directly. I would have a look and think, well, do they have any jobs? Doesn't look like it. It's not naturally contact us. Oh, so here we go, careers. Sometimes you can find that in the bottom tab. So like here, they've got some sales opportunities, account director, senior account manager, proven IT sales track record. So straight away, if you're being really specific in your search, this is something that's live and that you can apply for right now. So they've actually got a couple of jobs that are available, and it's actually a super positive job market at the minute if you're applying, but it makes sense to apply. Now, going back to the original question, which was like, well, sometimes they won't sponsor certain roles. Unfortunately, this is information that you don't know. What I would say is a really good rule of thumb is that if the job is paying less than 20,500 a year, it's unlikely that they're going to sponsor. And that really varies by roles, but without making it too complicated and giving you too much work and talking about standard occupational classifier codes and finding out what's the code for your job, which is maybe a video I can do somewhere else. If you'd like me to do that, then drop a comment down in the description below. Then that's the simplest way to go about it. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. There's going to be loads more like this, because I want to really be providing an in-depth and hands-on view for international student professionals who want to find a job in the UK. Good luck.